Hi boys and girls, welcome back to Science. Today in Science we are going to be investigating sound energy. So what I've done is I've made a little chart here, so you need to make a chart like this in your science journal or on a piece of paper, or you can even print this chart off of Canvas. And we are going to investigate sound energy with a homemade drum. So I put the directions down below, so that way if you want to do this investigation with me at home, then you're more than able to. So all I did to make my little homemade drum was I got a bowl, a glass bowl. I just got some plastic wrap because that's what I had in my kitchen. I got some rice that I spread over the top of my bowl. And I just placed the plastic wrap over the top of the bowl, so it kind of is acting like a container lid. And then I put the rice on top of that, and I'm going to kind of spread the rice out. Now what I'm going to do in this investigation is I'm going to observe what happens when I make soft, quiet taps. And then I'm also going to observe what happens when I make hard, loud taps. And I'm going to explain what happens and what the differences are when I make soft taps and hard taps on my little homemade drum. So let's get to it and let's do our little sound investigation. So like I said, I want my rice nice and spread out over my drum so that way I'm able to see. If you remember, sound energy creates waves. So what you're going to be able to see is the sound energy from my taps. So we're first gonna observe what happens whenever we do quiet, soft taps. So let's go ahead and give this drum a little tap. And you can tap with your finger, or you can tap with a pen or a pencil, any utensil that you have that you can tap with. Oh, and I also want to tell you, you can make this drum with a balloon as well. So you could stretch a balloon out over a bowl or a cup, and you don't have to use rice. You can use any other small material like that's similar to rice. You could probably even use pasta or something like that if you have that at home. You could use marbles. There's a bunch of different things you can use. So I'm just using what I have at home, and you can use what you have at home also. So now that we have our drum all made, let's do some soft, quiet taps and see what happens to the rice when I do soft, quiet taps. So if you notice, I'm really just doing very soft, very quiet taps. But what is happening to the rice as I'm doing these soft, quiet taps? The rice is moving. But is it moving a lot? No, it's not moving a lot. And I'm noticing that only the rice on the outside of my drum is moving. The rice on the inside is moving a little bit, but the rice on the outside is moving the most. And I'm going to try to tap it with my finger just to notice if there's a difference. Remember, these are just soft, quiet taps. There's not really a difference of me tapping it with my pen. Okay, so now that I have done that and I saw what happened with soft, quiet taps, I'm going to move my drum to the side and I'm going to write down my observations. What happened with soft, quiet taps? So I'm going to say the rice on the outside moved the most. Rice didn't move a lot. So even though the rice moved, it didn't move a whole lot. And just like I told you guys, as I noticed, just on the outside, that's where the rice moved the most. So that's what happens when I did soft, quiet taps. We could see the sound energy and we could also hear it. We could see it moving the rice, but it wasn't a lot because it wasn't very loud. It was a very quiet sound energy. So there wasn't a lot of sound energy. All right, now let me put my drum back. And now we're going to make loud, hard taps. I combined it loud and hard, but we're going to make loud, hard taps and see what happens to our rice and how it changes whenever the taps are louder and harder. And we're going to kind of see how that changes the rice and how it makes it move. All right, so let's tap and see what happens. So as you can see, those taps are a little bit louder. And the rice is going everywhere. I'm gonna have a mess in my kitchen. The rice is just going everywhere with those loud, hard taps. It's definitely popping up and just moving all those louder, harder taps. This is kind of fun, but also very messy. So make sure, boys and girls, if you do this investigation at home and you get rice all over your parents' kitchen, that you clean it up so that way I'm not in trouble. All right, so now that we were able to see what happens with the loud hard taps, and you can see there's rice all over my paper, let's write down our observations. So I'm gonna say rice moved a lot. It flew off the drum. And something I noticed was that it sounded a lot more like a drum. So I'm going to go ahead and write that too. That the sound was louder too. Whenever we did soft taps, it really didn't sound like a drum. But the louder taps, it really sounded like a drum to me. And remember, you just write down the observations that you noticed whenever I did it, or you can also write down the observations you noticed whenever you did this experiment with at your home also. So now that we have all of our observations, we're going to answer, or you're going to answer some questions about our sound experiment. So the two questions that you're going to answer is first, you're going to explain what caused the rice, marbles, or other objects to change. So you're going to explain to me, whenever I did those soft taps and loud taps, what caused the objects to change. So what caused your rice to move, what caused your marbles to move. You're going to kind of explain to me why that change happened. And then you're going to tell me, when did you use the most amount of sound energy and when did you use the least amount of sound energy. Right, I hope that you guys have a great time doing this experiment. Make sure that you clean up after yourselves if you do this at home. And please let me know if you have any questions or need any help. I hope that you have fun investigating sound energy.